Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, honey, thank you. All right, I'd like to bring to order the April 28th meeting of the Tiverton Town Council. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, you want to go through the roll call?
Will do. Counselor Vieira,
Here.
Counselor Janick,
Here.
Counselor Edwards,
Here.
Counselor Cook,
Donnie,
Yes, you
you're on
know.
mute.
You're muted, Donna.
Vanished.
I swear to God, when we become public, I'm going to be saying that. You're on mute. It's all right, Donna.
Counselor Perry,
Joe, can you hear us?
Joe, are you there?
Oh, God, help us.
Just wave, Joe.
Joe, can you hear me?
There he is. He's
He's
waving.
waving.
He's there.
He's
And
there.
can't
Counselor
hear you.
DPW
I'm here.
He's in the dark for me.
Counts-
He's not doing anything.
Counselor Burke absent.
Joe, are you on? We can't hear you.
He just came. Doesn't show him muted or anything.
No, but he needs to
Try
be.
F4.
Oh, this is going to be the death of me.
It is. I'm glad I didn't have all these problems last year.
I know.
Mr. Hoyle, bear with us.
Not a
Yeah,
problem.
Mr. Hoyle, you're going to get used to us. Joe,
You have a function F4?
he's looking. He probably doesn't know how to do that, though. You have to. Oh, okay, you're on mute
F4.
now. No,
Hang on.
unless he goes off and comes back.
That's what he had to do last time.
Oh, he's gone. He listened to me.
Maybe it's what you're doing.
Yeah. Mr. Hoyle, this is ours. I really apologize.
Oh, no apologies necessary. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, we
I
have
don't
enough of us to go into executive session.
All right,
don't we?
so, yep, that's what I'm going to do. So I'd like to entertain a motion to go into closed executive session, Town Administrator, Rhode Island General Law, 42465A1, discussion of job performance, character, or physical or mental health of persons or persons affected may require the discussion to be held in open session. That may not require the discussion to be held in open session. Interview on vacant building inspector position, notice given.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
How's that?
There he is.
Yeah, he's coming. So I have a motion from Councilor Vieira, seconded by Councilor Edwards. All those in favor, Councilor Vieira,
Yes.
Councilor Janick,
Yes.
Councilor Edwards,
Yes.
Councilor Cook,
Yes.
Councilor Perry.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay, welcome,
It's
Joe.
working.
All right, so in front of us, guys, we have, well, they didn't show up.
5.1 didn't print?
The very last column.
Am I?
I
Like,
think we're,
it was
think we're
sort of
live now.
it was sort of truncated.
All right, we're
Um,
live. All right, I like to, we're now in open session. I like to entertain a motion to seal the minutes.
So moved.
Do I have a
Second.
Motion been made by Councilor Edwards, seconded by Councilor Perry. All those in favor, Councilor Vieira,
yes.
Councilor Edwards,
Yes.
Councilor Cook,
Yes.
Councilor Perry,
Yes.
Councilor Janick.
Yes.
In executive session, discussion was held, no votes were made. Okay, so let's continue on. DPW,
Madam President,
yes, what did I do
Uh,
wrong?
No, you didn't do anything wrong. No, I just want to let you know that I have another commitment, so I will be leaving, but Jeannie's here.
Okay, thank you, Joan.
Okay,
Hi, Joan.
see you later.
Good night, Joan.
Good night, Joan.
Welcome, Jeannie.
Hi, Jeannie.
Jeannie's in the barrel.
Okay, we're gonna bring in the DPW director. Is he here? No.
He is. Hang on just a second, he should be here.
Oh, he might be in the, yeah, maybe this is him.
He drives slow, so.
Welcome, Rick.
Here he is.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Thank you.
Hi, Rick.
Hi.
All
Thank you.
right, so your agenda item is request permission to purchase 2 used trucks and new 4-way plows with attachments.
And that, I don't know the technicalities of it, Denise, so I'll be asking. But the trucks are selling quick, the used trucks are selling quicker than we can commit to them. So we've already gone on like 3 reiterations of the agenda request. There is currently only 1 truck available that fulfills the requirements of being $5,000 or less. So at this time, I mean, we're certainly willing to ask for the 2 trucks, but we don't know what the second truck is yet. And if the permission can be granted to purchase it as long as it's under the 45,000, that's fine. But there's currently only 1 truck available with the new 4-way plows and the attachments for the plow that falls in 45,000 or less. And within $100 or so, it's between like 44,900 and 45,000.
Okay, so somebody refresh my memory. We approved 2 trucks?
2 trucks, Yes. Cab chassis
Yeah.
and the implementation of 4-way plows.
And the price for that
Converting
was,
and converting
100,000.
standard bed over.
okay, so,
For $90,000.
Right.
okay, all right, I just found it, thank you.
And
Okay, so this is just 1 truck you want to buy now and continue your search for the second.
right, and also since the request went in, which I believe you have, I think the backup data that you have, since that went in, the seller of the truck offered to remove the $500 to put the PTO compatibility in, and he did offer a 90-day warranty for $399 plus document fees. So that truck would be $20,689, and the plow with the hookup for the plow with the plow would be $24,245 thereabouts.
Okay.
It was a little bit more than half that was budgeted.
Correct.
No, just
It's
maybe,
less.
yeah, $50 less or something like
Okay, I
that.
got it, okay. All right, and this would be taken from the capital reserve,
Correct.
which we have already approved for this purchase. Jay?
So as I understand what Rick is saying and what we should really consider here is he's got a truck in hand with a plow, and we know what that'll be. But due to availability and how rapidly these things are turned over, he's also asking us for the authority to leap on a deal if it turns up, and as long as it costs less than or no more than what's budgeted.
Is that correct, Rick?
Yes, it is correct. And also, I mean, the town councilors may say they don't feel the 90-day warranty on this is worth it. I think it is, so we can drive it around for 90 days, but it does cost $400. So that's up to the discretion, of course, of the town council. I think it's a good deal for a $20,000 truck to get a $400 90-day warranty. And then whatever's remaining, whether it's 45,100 or 45,050 bucks, whatever it is, if we could be given permission to purchase the other truck when it becomes available, wherever it is, for that amount. That would be nice also.
All right,
I
well,
think
well,
we ought to
Rick,
do that.
Rick, I trust your judgment on the warranty. I'm not a DPW director and I don't pretend to be. And I don't know trucks. So, I mean, I trust your judgment on that. I also want to tell you, if you go out there and you find a deal and it's a little bit more, I feel you shouldn't turn it down. I should feel you should come back to us and we'll find the rest of the money somehow in this budget.
Absolutely.
So don't just because you have this limited money, not, what I'm trying to tell you, if you find a truck that's worth the bang for its buck and you have to pay a little bit more, please come to us.
Yes, thank you, Denise. I appreciate that, and we'll do so. And it's my understanding what's going on is because of Corona, because of manufacturing lags, etc., used trucks are behind schedule and they're not easy to come by. And that's why more than multiple truck dealers have told us that the used trucks are going like hotcakes.
And I don't know if the rest of you agree with what I just said. Of course, we'll put that in the motion, but if anybody has any input on that, Jay?
Well, I agree with that, but keep in mind, these things, if they're selling like hotcakes, and if we have to give him an approval in public session, then it may mean we have to do a very quick special meeting.
I think what we could do, if you all agree, is give the administrator authorization to approve the truck. And Chris knows the budget, so then he can come to us with a budget transfer.
If we could do that, that would be good.
Yes, we can definitely do that as long as we vote to do that. So if we don't want Rick to have to wait for 2
Yeah,
weeks,
we don't want to lose a deal if it presents itself.
Well, Rick, how many have we lost so far? About 4 or 5?
Yeah,
Right.
yes, it's
Exactly.
hard to know exactly, but we've lost at least 2 or 3. In fact, once when we went back to the gentleman and said, okay, we think we can make this work, he said there's a guy out in the lot right now buying that one. So
They're hard to come
and,
by.
I'm positive that as a council, we could give the town administrator authorization to give Rick authorization to buy the truck. And then all Chris has to do is come to us with a budget transfer. And we do know that there's money here and there that, and I feel that Chris will be reasonable and not buy a $60,000 truck. So,
No. And we could always turn it off anyway.
yeah,
I'd be willing to put that in the form of a motion.
okay. So the motion would be, I'm sorry, I have the agenda on my computer.
To approve the 45,000 and whatever it was for the $400 90-day warranty. And then to approve or approve the administrator, authorize the administrator to approve a reasonable amount if another truck comes available
Over the allotted fund,
over the allotted 45,000.
yes. Do I have
So
a
is that the
second?
motion? I'll
Yes,
second
Yes.
that.
okay.
Yep.
And Jay seconded. Is there any further discussion? Donna, did you have your hand up?
Oh, no.
Oh, for some reason, I thought I saw your
No.
hand up. Okay. I think I'm getting a little meaning crazy. Anyone else? Okay, so I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, Councilor Vieira,
Yes.
Councilor Edwards,
Yes.
Councilor Cook,
Yes.
Councilor Perry,
Yes.
Councilor Janick,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. Thank you, Rick.
Thanks,
Get him,
Rick.
Rick.
yes,
Thanks,
thank you
Rick.
all. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, the next one, discussion and potential votes on FY 2021, 2022 revenue estimate. Chris?
So the worksheets we were working on originally, that Denise Direct had worked on, brought non-taxable revenue at 11,698,933. I've since reworked some of these numbers, and I've come up with a new revenue estimate, non-taxable, of 12,875,573, and obviously the lion's share of that is adding 1.1 million for the power plant as a tentative number to start with. I did add $25,000 to the stamp tax. I added 10,000 to miscellaneous department revenue for the fire department. No, it's a plan review fees for the fire department. 10,000 to the police detail to bring it up to 80,000, because I believe that's about where it'll be this year. And 25,000 instead of 15,000 for Bogland Beach receipts, because we were at 46,000 year to date this year. So I know that we did fairly well at Bogland, and I'm assuming we'll do the same again this coming year. And then I added $7,500 into the park, the camp programs, because I believe we will have camps based on the guidance from the Rhode Island Department of Health. I know they're working on the final mechanisms to do that. So that would bring the non-taxable revenue up to 12 million. Where's my number? 12,875,573. That number, by the way, is slightly different than the worksheet that you were working on before. Had a non-tax revenue for FY 2021 of 14,533,490. But if you remember, the budget committee took 1.625 million out of the general fund. So I did not factor in any money from the general fund when I come up with this 12 million, my number up, 875. I do know there's about $650,000 that's left in the general fund outside of the 3%. I'm assuming the budget committee will try to take some of that. I would recommend 500,000 to be taken. That would give us a total of 13,375,573. And when I did the tax calculation, it brought our tax rate down from 1619 to 1522.
Which is an increase for the
No, it's a decrease of
increase.
just
A
97.
dollar.
Wow.
So don't forget though, we have people's revals. There's a lot of people have gotten, I don't know if you all know what your properties were and what they're now currently being
went
looked at. So, if you were to apply the 1522 versus your new assessment, how far is that off from, where your current tax rate is based on the 1619? So I'm going to say that based on the lion's share of the residences being in the north end, that the lion's share of those will probably have a slight increase of between 100 to 125, $50 somewhere now. And I'm only guessing based on a couple of people that I've talked to today, trying to figure out, I don't know what everybody's going to, I do know there are some houses that had significant swings and there were some that had none. So
Okay, so
it does drop the tax rate. Yeah. And that's funding the schools at the rate that they asked.
this is including the schools.
Yes, it does include the schools, and it also includes the school board last night voted to increase their capital request from 457,500 to 557,500 to help pay for the, it's a formal request. It's allowed to go on the docket. Whether or not the budget committee adopts it is a whole different story. But I did calculate it based on that number, just because that's the budget committee still has to vote on it. But they're allowed to change their budget up until May 5th, no different than the town council.
But just to be clear, what you plugged in for the school is what the school committee submitted in a letter back in January, and not what you hear the superintendent asking.
Correct. The school budget has been submitted by the school board, and they did not send me a request to change that today.
Nope.
So that number is 32 million, hang on,
506,856.
856. And it's my understanding that that's capped at 4% of the local appropriation.
Mhm.
That by law is the maximum they can ask for. But they can still ask for more capital if they wanted, which they did. And I know that they're still working on their budget. So I don't know what their final number is going to be. But, I didn't watch their meeting last night because I had,
All right, so 5B is discussion and potential vote on FY 2021-2022 revenue estimates. Do you feel that we can safely vote on your numbers, Chris?
I do.
Okay. So that'll be the first thing we do is, and because we have to approve those by May 5th also.
Correct.
So why don't we, I'll entertain a motion to approve the
18
revenue
million.
estimates as stated by the town administrator.
So it was 18,875,573 non-tax revenue, not including anything from the general fund reserve.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
So
Make the
moved.
motion.
Do I have a second?
Who made, oh, okay, I'll second it if I didn't make it.
Well, I don't know who's doing it. All right, Donna, did you have a question?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have the paperwork and I'm looking at my iPad, but it seems to be like I can't see things, like I can't
Yeah, I know
see
that's
the
what.
final number.
Well, that's why we asked Chris to say it, because some of the pages didn't come in as well as,
They were longer than I could print.
yeah.
Yeah, they're on 8.5 by 14, that's why.
Yeah, I can't get it either, but
Well, I don't know if it'll make anybody feel warm and fuzzy, but I went through the whole thing. And I personally did not find any problems.
well, and because of your experience on the budget committee, I respect that, Jay. So,
Thanks.
Bill,
Well, I just threw it out there.
And can Chris just repeat the numbers one more time slowly so I can write them down, please?
So the total number of non-tax revenue is 12,875,573. So there was a sheet that was on 8.5 by 11. It was 3 pages that Denise Surratt had done our last meeting.
yep,
So I'll give you the changes that I made from her 11,698,933.
mhm,
On stamp taxes, she had it pegged at 200,000. I increased it to 225,000. On the Tiverton Power Associates, as a baseline, and I know that we still have to negotiate with them, that goes from 630,000, 840, I'm sorry, $840,768 of what is budgeted for this year to $1.1 million for next year. Now, that could be higher by the time we're done negotiating, but, I want to be able to have at least a solid number to work with. And on the fire department plan reviews, I moved that up by 10,000 from what was currently budgeted this year at 9,500. We're currently bringing in 34,000, and Denise had budgeted 10 through the fire department. I believe we can probably do 20 because we have some significant projects coming through next year.
What page is that?
That would be on the second page of Denise's.
yeah, I
It
see.
would be on the fire is 1, 2, like the 4th page of the long spreadsheet I sent today.
And for anybody who's interested,
And then on police details, I increased by 10,000 based on what we're doing currently. I believe that we should be able to bring that up. And then I added on the Fogland Beach receipt, because we brought in 46,000 this year. Instead of budgeting 15, I brought it up to 40, which is just slightly less, because I don't know why it's so high, but I do.
yeah, I don't understand that.
Well, I understand because people could not leave their houses, do anything else but go to the beach.
And we're gonna have the same issue this summer.
Right, I understand that. I think people found the beach as a safe haven.
And I added $7,500 for the summer parks program, which is of what we had budgeted in the past when we did that program. So
I don't know why I
that
don't-
brings that number up to 12,875,000.
573.
No, somehow.
I'm
this is-
comfortable with that.
And what, you mentioned the $18 million figure. Is that the
That-
600,000 coming from the general?
No,
No, 18 million, I didn't say 18 million, did I?
no.
I said
You
12
did,
million,
you did say something about 18 million, but I didn't
That
follow
18
that.
million.
Wait a minute.
Well, I really don't have anything to look at. I don't know why I didn't get the 3-page thing was supposed to be sent out.
Well, that was sent out
I
weeks
tried
ago.
to-
That was at our last budget meeting.
Oh,
Yeah, that was what
Oh.
Denise sent us on a Saturday, I
We've
believe.
had it for a while.
So
Yeah,
based on our conversation at our council meeting, we looked at the Denise's revenue estimates, and there was some comments that maybe some of these estimates could be higher. So I did go through those today, and I made some adjustments.
all right.
yeah,
And
I
for-
have that page. She sent it to us on a Saturday morning. I
I've
have
got it.
here
If
some-
anybody's interested, and I don't know if you would be, I can tell you that I did the same thing Chris did, and he was more conservative than I would have been. So,
It might be
but
that-
you know what?
Yeah.
We need to, we still need to be careful.
We were very conservative last year. The
Yeah.
budget committee was extremely
Oh,
conservative last year.
Terribly so.
I was there at all those meetings, so they were very conservative and rightly so, but we came in a little higher.
We did.
which
But
was-
we didn't know.
No, which was okay. I would rather. be
So
done what
we'd
you
rather
did.
be there.
Hmm.
No, I think you did your due diligence back then, and
No, we did.
it's much better than coming in higher and not getting
Yeah.
it. So,
You can say that
And
again.
and what I did this time was I took the revenue sheet for the end of March, which is 75% of our revenue for the year, and plugged in some of those raw numbers and used them as my revenue estimate. Not in every case, but in a few.
so I have a motion on the floor to approve Chris's numbers as stated twice now. Does anyone else have questions?
And we're somewhat comfortable with that power number.
Yes, I am.
I am too.
And just so you also know, and I'm not, believe me, this is not to pick on the schools. These non-tax revenue numbers also include the state aid for education, which has a $605,000 drop in it. So to bring that number up close to where we need to be is, I think, pretty reasonable. So
Okay.
that number dropped to 6,774,000. But that's, it's factored in here. I don't want somebody to think that somehow that we've forgotten about the school or state aid. It is factored in these numbers.
So do we have a motion?
Yes, we have a motion by
And a
Bill and
second.
seconded by you.
Yeah, okay.
Jeannie, do you have all the figures you need?
I do.
Okay. I just want to make sure you have it straight because there's a lot of numbers coming at you.
I will put printed copies of all this in your boxes for tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So a motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor, Bill?
I think Joe made the motion, but
All right,
I,
well,
okay.
yeah, poor Joe. I don't give him enough credit. So
I
Joe,
vote
made-
yes.
okay.
You're so
Jay?
quiet.
Jay,
Yes, yes.
Donna,
Yes.
Deb,
Yes.
Joe,
Roof, roof, yes.
and I'm a yes. Okay, so, and then we just talked about the estimated increase in taxes.
So I think you should probably still vote on whether or not you want to take something out of the general fund.
Yeah, I was just gonna bring that up. I don't know. We still don't know what the budget committee is gonna decide with all these figures. And I'm not quite sure. I personally feel that I need to let the budget committee decide what to do with all of
Okay.
this.
All right.
Because I really don't, as much as we have discussed the schools, Jay is right. There's two different figures out there. And I'm not quite sure what the budget committee will decide on. And I think I trust them. They can only take 650 out. Which is a problem because we took so much out last time. But at the time last year, there was no other choice. So it wasn't a bad decision. And I was one of the ones that advised to do it, I'll admit it. So, but But at this point, I don't know how the rest of you feel about it, but I think because the numbers are a little uncertain on the school side right now, I think I will leave it up to the budget committee to decide what to take from the general fund. I also have to say that our budget, I feel, is very responsible. We have gone through every line item. We've done the best we can, but we don't know if they're going to be cutting our budget also.
Right.
So I think I will leave it up to them. And at the end of their process, they can decide what to take from the general fund.
Are they meeting tomorrow night?
They are meeting tomorrow night.
Is the school on their
Last
agenda?
night, but I did not see what they did with their budget. The only thing I do know is, I did get a text from somebody last night that they increased the capital amount. That's all I didn't.
Yeah, Deb, I'm not sure what the budget committee's agenda is tomorrow night, because I understood from one of the members that they were going to try to hold off for a couple of weeks. So I didn't know that they were meeting tomorrow.
I did send the budget committee everything I have here tonight. I will also do it in a printed form for them as well. I'll make sure they all have printed copies.
I just lost my.
All we could do is give them our advice.
But my suggestion would be that you may take a vote that provisionally, that the budget committee could take no more than 500,000. But that, that way you can have something to work with for a number to at least know where your tax rate might be.
I don't think that we can actually.
We can't give them a directive.
No, we can't tell them they can't take that. No,
Right. Okay.
I mean, we could suggest it.
we can suggest it, but I don't think we can tell them that they can't take no more. We all know that if they can't take more than 650, because they'll go below the 3%.
Right.
I also, with a little bit of confidence, will tell you, I think, and I don't know if Chris will agree with me, but I think we're going to put some money into the general fund from this budget, probably.
I called Denise and talked to her about that today. There are some unknowns that we have this year that, didn't pan out as much as we thought, and she was not comfortable enough to make that assessment right now. But she will be plugging away at that fairly quickly to keep track of where we are. And we may, at the end of the year, have some extra money going in there from current appropriations. But she didn't want to commit to it until she had a chance to fully review it. And I don't blame her, quite frankly. I get what they're doing, so.
Well, also, the predicted revenue for this year is higher, right? Because they were very conservative.
So the revenue for like our state aids and all that are coming in on target. It's our other non-tax
Like-
revenues that we are kind of waffling on as to whether or not, like our investment income didn't come in as much as we thought it might, even though we were conservative with it. So there are some issues that we're trying to wrestle with. So I'll talk to Denise and try to get a better handle on that, at least for your next council meeting. And I know that the budget committee will still have some time after the council is done with what you have, but I don't think I would plan on having a lot of extra revenue come into the budget. And the other piece of that, quite frankly, that I know it's on your agenda to talk about resolutions. We did not put a resolution in this year for any excess monies to go into municipal capital. So if any monies do come in, they will strictly go to the general fund reserve, or general fund. So, that's.
Yeah, I think, Chris, that we took all the resolutions out last year for this year because we didn't want to earmark any money for anything specific in case we needed it somewhere else.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you, but we may want to.
Yeah,
consider
well,
putting
capital, paving, all of that we typically do.
Right. I don't want, his arm's gonna fall down in a minute. So.
Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
No, my question is, you said you had faith in the budget committee to take whatever they felt was necessary.
Yes.
What happens if they don't? Are we going to be able to meet again and say, hey, they didn't put enough, so we have to make a decision, or are we just going to let it go at whatever they recommend? I agree. I agree letting them decide, but what if they don't? Then what do we do?
Well, if they don't, they're gonna have a hard time capping it at 4%, in my opinion.
Yeah, balance.
They're gonna have to take something. They're gonna.
So then we would not be able to meet after they decide whether,
No.
okay,
They're
that's
the
what I wanted to
final,
know.
they're the
Okay.
final say on the what goes on the docket,
Yeah,
Joe.
the
So
only-
Yeah, we're just
no,
advisory.
only-
we're, yeah,
Joe just brought up a point that I just thought of. that, yes, they do have a budget, right? The
Right.
budget committee will submit a budget, but the town council can do an alternate budget. The town council can present our own budget.
We could,
Right.
So we can say, well,
We don't feel that's enough?
yeah, but it,
Okay.
so, but, and correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone knows this, it has to be the budget we submitted. It can't be different than the budget we submitted to them.
I believe you're correct. So in other words, you could restore something back, but find alternate revenue to,
Right, but it has to be our budget, I believe.
Yeah. Our
So-
bottom line, whatever it was,
Right, our
correct?
bottom
Yeah,
line.
bottom line, I believe so.
Right,
Right.
so,
That's what I'm getting at. If they don't, we
yeah,
don't,
so we could vote to take $500,000 out, and they could decide not to, or to do it, but we might want to think about that, now that I think about this. We might want to think about, taking $500,000 out and submitting that to them. They can change it,
right,
but we have to
Right.
have some kind of plan after. If they change it and we don't like what they submitted, we cannot take from the general fund unless we already voted to do so.
Mhm.
So maybe that is, thank you, Joe, because you just
right,
reminded me.
that's,
How
Yeah.
many budgets do we want at the FDR?
Well, that's absolutely true, Jay. But suppose, and I trust the budget committee won't do this, but suppose they really cut our budget to the point that we don't feel that we can adequately live with it, and we decide that we want to put our original budget in as an alternate budget, we do have the right to do that.
Yeah, we do. I understand it.
So that's why we might want to, at this point, take $500,000, because we've done this in the past, take $500,000, put it towards our budget, and vote to submit that. And then they can do whatever they want. But I think it's a little safeguard for us in the long run if things go terribly bad. So Joe, thank you, because it made my mind work. So I think Chris's suggestion is probably a good one, to take the 500. But let me see where we are now. So we're talking about the budget. As far as the resolutions, we don't have to submit our resolutions till June 10th. And
Right.
Deb had a good idea last time that we should see what resolutions they're doing. Because duplicate resolutions or just confuse the public when they're voting. So see what their resolutions are, and then we can submit the ones that we want. So we still have till June 10th to do that, and we have several meetings where we can see what they're gonna do with the resolutions. Does everyone agree with that?
Yeah, as long as, if their resolutions are so close to ours that the difference is inconsequential, just
Right.
let theirs go and
So what I'll do is I'll put it
Ends
in,
up being,
I'll put it in the last meeting in May. I'll put that on the agenda. At that point, if they haven't put resolutions in yet, then we can at least submit them, but say that if you have similar resolutions, then we'll be comfortable with yours, but, all right. Okay, so, we have a meeting on Monday to finalize this, but I think this is pretty final. What do you think, Chris?
I do. I will say that, the numbers on a percentage basis kind of look a little disparate, but it's, overall on the town side, the budget went up 3.3%. Overall, the entire budget went up 3.12%.
Is that taking the 500 out?
That's just on the expenditure side, just expenditures, no revenue.
Okay,
So, but it's really somewhat taken out of context because really the town side of the budget from 21,897 to 21,195, that includes $557,000 worth of school capital. Both school and town had no capital this year. So if they get their capital approved, they get 557,500. The town gets 115,000. So, and then it's 375,000 for paving because we zeroed it out this year. We didn't have no paving. And we added $100,000 for OPEB because we took it out of the budget this year. So we got some big items that really need to be funded. But they're really, I mean, if the budget committee wants to make some cuts, I'm assuming that those are the areas they'll go to, but that our increases altogether, if you take our 590,000 increases with 557, and so it's like $1.2 million. But then we have a bunch of reductions on our side too, that bring it down to 700. Overall, the entire budget on our side went $702,000, and that includes the school's capital, because that's part of our capital number.
So our budget really,
200,000.
yeah.
I mean, I
And-
think we're pretty reasonable. I mean,
Well,
it is, but
Excessively reasonable.
I think what we did at capital, it was a very good thing. I just feel that we've worked several months on this. I think we've gone line item through line item. Everyone has had great suggestions. We've found some savings. We took most of our capital and did not tax people for it. And that was a goal that been said since I've been on the town council to try to do that. I think this year we did accomplish that
we
to
did.
the point. So I don't feel we need to meet next Monday. I feel that this budget is the best that we can do right now. So we'd have to vote on the bottom line because we've preliminary voted on every single line item. And then we would have to vote to put $500,000 from the general fund if that's what we want to do.
Okay.
Bill,
So, just so that you do know, I did very similar to every prior year. I did do the reduction for SRO, and I do know last night the school board voted to continue doing the SRO for
they
this
did,
year.
and I want to commend them on that.
So, and I do appreciate that. So that brings the town's appropriation number for municipal expenses. And I did change the docket from what was department head request to town council to what now looks like town school request to budget committee approved. And the only difference that we have between the town municipal expenses and the budget committee expenses is the library.
Yeah.
All right, so and our number is higher because the budget committee did cut them to level funded. So the town's request is 21,897,596. Do you have that, Jeannie?
21,897,596. That's not including capital.
That's not including capital.
So that's our general.
That's our operating budget.
Operating budget.
And then our capital.
Our capital is 842,000.
Do we really put the school committee in there right now?
Yes, we've always done this.
Okay,
It's because we do this because it's not part of maintenance of effort.
Right.
So we give them, and if they do major renovations as well, when the 33% or whatever it is that the state kicks back for the housing aid, that goes back in the general fund.
Right.
It doesn't go.
I just didn't know the town council included it. I know the budget committee did.
It's always included with the town council for
I
capital.
don't know if actually have.
We're not approving it. All I'm saying is that's the number right now. The
We're
budget
recommending
committee may change that based on what they vote for. And the budget committee voted for the fire apparatus truck at 100,000 a year and the library capital, I believe. They have not done anything with school capital yet.
But I thought that we just submit our capital and we just vote on our capital tonight.
That's what you vote on. So I can back into that number.
Yeah.
But is it at the summary at the very end of the docket, it does include the school's
Yeah,
capital.
okay. But
Right.
what we vote on tonight is the 100.
So there's $100,000 for the apparatus piece of equipment, the Quint, which would be a 10-year payment. There's $15,000 for the library capital request. And there is $170,140 in time payments. So you can do them all as one, or you can, I can carve out that number. Let me get a pen.
Well, I think we vote for the capital of 100,015.
115,000 capital.
And
115
then
for
we
library.
vote separately for the debt.
Okay, that's fine.
That's what
Can
I
you
think.
repeat that operating budget number, the 21 million, please?
The operating number was 21,897,596.
And then a separate vote to recommend taking $500,000.
We haven't done it yet, but yeah, it will be $500,000 from the general fund to offset taxes.
The revenue, yeah.
We're gonna do a vote for $115,000 in capital. And then you're gonna do a vote for $170,140 for time payments for the trucks that have on time. That's,
So do we need three motions?
Yes, we do. But Bill had his hand up, didn't you, Bill?
we could do it all in one motion if you wanted to.
We're good.
Okay.
Yeah, you could just state all the figures and
So if somebody would like to make a motion for 21,897,596 for the general operations of the town,
So moved.
115,000 for capital, which represents 100,000 for a 10-year payment on a apparatus for Quint, $15,000 for library capital, and 170,140 for the municipal time payments for equipment that is purchased on time.
go for
I'll
it,
make that
Joe.
motion. I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
So I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, Bill,
Yes.
Jay,
Yes,
Donna,
Yes.
Deb,
Yes,
Joe,
Yes,
and I'm a yes. And then the next motion would be to take $500,000 from the
I forgot
general
that one, I'm
fund
sorry.
to offset expenses.
so moved.
so moved. Second.
Okay, so, right, Chris, is that right?
Correct, I forget that one.
All right, that's fine. I'm writing all this down. Motion's been made by Jay, second by Joe. Any further discussion? All those,
that still keeps us like what, 140,000,
150.
150
Mhm.
over, okay,
over the percentage.
but over the 3%, all right.
Bill?
Yes.
Okay, Jay,
Yes,
Donna,
Yes.
Deb,
Yes,
Joe?
Yes,
And I'm a yes. So we were supposed to submit this to the town administrator by May 5th, but we just submitted it.
Okay,
wonderful. So
Now,
we have next Monday off with pay.
next Monday off with pay.
attaboy, Joe.
and then we'll meet at a later date and do the resolution, like,
Well, yeah,
End of May.
we don't have to get them into, I think I said June 10th.
5th or 10th.
10th. So we have 3 meetings where we can, and I'll put, what I'll do, Deb, is I'll put it at the last May meeting. Hopefully that the budget committee
They'll
can
have it,
do it in a
yeah.
month. And then we can submit whatever they haven't, or we can tweak whatever they did.
so
yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Bill?
I want to thank Chris for his hard work. I mean, when he's not giving vaccinations to everybody, he's trying to crunch the numbers every night with every department, head. Being a rookie, I just really want to thank Chris for his hard work.
Well, I have to tell you, Tuesday, he ran to the governor's office, met with the governor, and then ran back with me, Donna, and Jay, and did the police, then went back and did the ethics thing. So if anybody doesn't say we're getting a bang out of a buck from Chris, they're nuts.
And he had Zoom today.
I will give you an update about the governor's meeting at your next meeting in executive session. Okay.
So
Chris, my only question is, Chris, can you do building inspecting also and some other things?
Zoning.
I say
Zoning,
no
yeah.
so much that I don't think it'll work out very well.
no, I don't think so either. Not that I'm doubting your skills, but
Yeah.
I think your plate's kind of full at this point. I want to thank everyone on the council because this was a very cooperative budget hearing, budget meetings. Everybody did their homework. I think we've done our due diligence, and I personally think that we've done the best for the taxpayers that we could have this year. So I want to thank everybody, and that's, of course, including Chris, but all the counselors, thank you for all your time, because we have spent endless amount of hours, even on Saturdays with this.
So I'll give you a very, and I agree, I thank you all too, as well, because it's been very cooperative to try to get to where we are. But I'm gonna give you a very quick rundown on how we came to a calculation of a tax rate. So if that budget that we just submitted at 21,897,596, plus our capital and the two items that the school requested, that 32,506 and 557, if that all gets approved, that's 55,247. That's above current year, which is 53,550. We would be using 13,375 to offset the taxes, or the expenditure with non-tax revenue, versus 14,500,000 that's allowed for this year because we took so much from the general fund. There's $75,000 in abatements that would be utilized in talking with Dave Robert versus 20,000 for this year. That brings the net down to 41,900,000 versus 39 million this year. $1.3 million in car taxes. Net is 40,600,000 versus 37,700,000. So the big difference is the reval. Town's valuation based on prior tax rate was $2,333,000,000. On the new reval, it's $2,670,000,000. So it does give us some, growth, but it's all market value on houses. As Dave explained the other night, we have very little growth in town with the number of new houses. I think he said there were like 25 new constructions. So that brings the tax rate from 1620 down to 1522. I'll work with Tom Haley in the budget committee to make sure that that same formulary works. And I used the formula we used last year to come up with that. Tom Haley did one today. He came up 1545, but he didn't have the numbers in the revenue that I have right now. And I don't think he had numbers that he took out. He may have plugged the number for the general fund reserve. But I believe we are going to be extremely close to what the budget committee is going to be coming up with. So I want you to have a comfort level moving forward that this isn't just some back of the napkin calculation. These are real numbers that we've been working with through this whole budget season to make sure that we had valid numbers to work with.
Thank you, Chris.
And I
Joe?
did the same thing you did and came up with the same numbers.
Yes, Joe.
Madam President, I'd just like to commend Jay Edwards, Donna Cook, and Deb Janick for their input over the years being on the budget committee. I think this year was one of the best years we've had doing this because a lot of their experience and input on the budget issues. And I want to commend them and thank them for all their help on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
Hope we haven't screwed up.
No, we didn't do that. Donna has a funny grin on her face right now.
No, seriously, there were some situations where I think their input really, really helped in making some of these decisions from their experience being on the budget committee. Also, Chris, too.
Absolutely, Chris.
All right, guys. So
Motion to adjourn.
yeah, so just keep in mind, no meeting on Monday unless something comes up and I have to do it, but I'll have Joe notify you, but I think we're good.
Time and a half if we have to work next Monday.
So Denise, do you have to do a signed budget submission, or is this it?
That doesn't come until that she will have to do this. There is a process when the budget committee gets near its completion. We have to submit a proposed budget to the State Office of Municipal Finance.
Okay.
That is submitted by the council president. I will draft all that when the time is right. I will submit it to Denise. And obviously, I always give a copy to the council as well. It hopefully, with what I believe what we have right now, we will have no issues. And because we are under the cap, we're under all the parameters. We actually have a very conservative budget. It's our real issue is going to be, and that will get approved. I don't see any issue with it. Is any alternate budgets to come through? We are going to have to put through the same mechanisms to ensure that they follow the law and that they comply with the law. And that will also have to go to the Office of Municipal Finance if it is different from what we have here.
Well, I didn't mean to the Office of Municipal Finance. I meant to you.
No,
No,
I believe I have what you need.
This is it.
I
Okay.
will send you a formalized copy of it in writing, in print. And if, before it gets to final submissions to the budget committee, if anybody has any questions, please call me. I will, because I
Hey,
do
I'm
know,
glad you said this. So to cross every T and dot every I, I'm going to entertain a motion to submit this budget to the town administrator.
Okay.
So
So moved. Or seconded, whichever.
Who wants to second?
I'll
I'll
second.
Jay
second.
did.
hey, unanimous
Whatever.
consent.
Motion's been made in second. All those in favor, Bill,
Yes.
Jay,
Yes.
Donna,
Yes.
Deb,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes,
and I'm a yes. All right, Joe, now your motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
Second.
Sorry for the delay,
Made in
guys.
second. All those in favor, Bill,
Yes.
Jay,
Yes.
Donna,
Yes.
Donna doesn't want to go home.
no, she wants to go home. Deb,
Yes.